Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. Name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today I'm going to do a May recap. So, the last time you heard from us, we were talking about Gennady Golovkin versus Vanes Martirosyan. That happened at the beginning of May. I believe it was May 5th. And we did a recap of that fight. So, now, what I'm going to do is recap the other fights that happened this past month, which were Lomachenko-Linares. We had Gary Russell versus Jojo Diaz. And we had Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack. On the MMA side, we had Amanda Nunes versus Raquel Pennington for the 135-pound title in the UFC. We also had the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix between Ryan Bader and King Mo, and then we had Bellator 200, which was last week. I didn't get a chance to watch that one yet, so I'm not going to talk about that one. And as you know, we like to really go in depth with these, so these are going to be really quick shots just to give you, some brief thoughts on what we thought about what we saw in those fights. So, let's get into it. First up, we got Lomachenko and Linares. This was an excellent fight. We had two guys who are top-notch in skill. One on the pound-for-pound list. A lot of guys got him in the top three, regardless of where they got him, 1, 2, or 3. He's in there for most lists. Going up another weight class, because I believe he started at about 122, I think he started at 126, moved up to 130, now he's at 135 against Linares, who is the lineal champ of the division and the biggest opponent he had fought to date. Now, when Rob and I were talking about this fight, we were discussing, Linares' size and his ability to use his feet as well, and how you can be a big man without having to just constantly be in somebody's face causing pressure. And I think Linares did well in spots doing that. He was able to reel off excellent combinations. He was able to get some good angles. And he was able to use that size and also timing to create a nice knockdown in the 6th round against Lomachenko. Lomachenko, being the consummate professional and top guy that he is, was able to adjust to these, find his combinations, make Linares miss at times, and also get his own angles to eventually stop him with a body shot in the 10th round. And this was a very nice one that was placed right on the rib cage. Anyone who's ever taken a shot like that knows that it is not something that you are going to recover well from, especially after a 10-round war with one of the best fighters in the sport. So, hats off to both guys in that one. As of this filming, Lomachenko just had surgery. He suffered a torn labrum in that fight. So, he had shoulder surgery and will be back, they're hoping, at the end of the year. As far as 135, that may be the ceiling as far as his weight climbing goes. He did see a little bit of struggle taking those shots from the bigger guy, but there may be some matches out there that he can look favorable against some of the lesser knowns he may not want to take on, like the top guys in that division. But he's got the skill level that makes him competitive with anybody, and the notoriety that will make him a favorite against most of them, regardless of their size. But sometimes that size, when you're dealing with someone who is skilled also, will play a factor. So we'll see how that goes in his future. Next up, Gary Russell versus Diaz. Now, this one was a highly competitive bout between two former Olympians who both showed different levels of skill in the sweet science, and while still being even with each other. Gary Russell, arguably the fastest hands in the sport, able to put together some blistering combinations, excellent angles, and I loved how he would throw in a jab at the end of some of his combinations to just keep Diaz off balance. And Diaz was able to use excellent timing to catch Russell at the end of a lot of those combinations with hard telling shots. So it was a very close fight that Russell pulled out, but I don't think it was a fight where the stock of Diaz dropped any, because he was in there competing the entire time and giving Russell a lot of trouble with what he was doing. So, last boxing match we had, Adonis Stevenson, Badu Jack. In this one, I was taking Jack to take a decision, but a close one because of the way he fights. He only really has one speed that he fights at. He's very consistent at that. But that one speed, as you can see from several of his fights, can be taken advantage of. His strength is being able to keep that consistent speed and almost banking on his opponents to slow down while he's still going at the same speed and able to keep a consistent rate to outwork his opponents towards the end of the fight. Now in this one, we had him giving away several rounds due to Adonis Stevens' activity and ability to just land telling punches while Jack was sitting around waiting. And he began to come on in the middle rounds like he always does. And then Adonis Stevenson came on like a monster late in the fight, trying to get the knockout, even though he could not do it. He did hurt Badu Jack very badly to the body, which actually dropped his rate after that and ended up securing Stevenson keeping his belt. It was scored as a draw. So they'll probably do it again. I'm not sure. You know, both guys have options. We'll see what happens, but we really want to see Badu Jack step on the pace and Adonis Stevenson keep that high level of competition going, even though he is over 40 years old. He is the lineal light heavyweight champ, so he's got to defend that belt, because you got guys like Bivol, Kovalev, Beterbiev, Jack himself, and others, Gvozdyk. There's several guys in that division who are gunning, Kovalev, who are gunning for that number one spot, and he needs to stay active in order to keep up with these guys. Otherwise, if he ever does get in the ring with them, they're going to run him out the ring. So real quick on the MMA side, we had that heavyweight Grand Prix in Bellator. I believe the winner of this is going to be their heavyweight champion. And in this last preliminary fight, we had King Mo versus Ryan Bader. And this was a very quick fight. I was picking Ryan Bader based on his size, because he's already a very big light heavyweight. King Mo is a small light heavyweight. And this fight was taking place at heavyweight, somewhere that King Mo has competed at before, but against smaller heavyweights. And in the fights that he lost at heavyweight, it was mainly because of his size and his propensity to be knocked out. As Rob said, his chin is highly suspect. And it's true. This guy gets knocked out very easily. And when you got somebody that's going to be outweighing you by 20 plus pounds, that's not a good thing. And in this case, he was knocked out in 15 seconds by a counter left hook that Bader threw in exchange with Mo, and he was trying to duck, but he ducked right into that left hook. And I think they had that scouted, and that's why he was able to get that quick victory. So he moves on to the tournament. If you haven't been watching that heavyweight tournament, it's been pretty entertaining. Chael Sonnen, Matt Mitrione, Ryan Bader, and I believe, man, I'm missing one guy that's advanced. Let me pull that up real quick. Bellator Grand Prix bracket. I want to say it was Fedor, but I'm not 100% sure, so that's why I want to look it up. Yeah, Matt Mitrione beat Roy Nelson. Ryan Bader beat King Mo. So Mitrione and Ryan Bader are going to fight. Then we got Chael Sonnen, who beat Rampage Jackson, and Fedor, who beat Frank Mir in very quick fashion as well. So yeah, so it's going to be Chael Sonnen versus Fedor Emelianenko and Matt Mitrione versus Ryan Bader in the semifinals. The winner of those 2 fights for the final and will be the Bellator heavyweight champ. Right now they don't have one. So on to the final big bout of the month. We had Amanda Nunes defending the 135-pound women's bantamweight title against Raquel Pennington. In this fight, I didn't see it as being competitive going in because of the striking prowess of Amanda Nunes and the lack thereof of Raquel Pennington. She is one of those tough women who will just grind you out, but someone with the skill level of Nunes, I didn't think that was going to be enough, and it proved not to be. She took a sustained beating throughout the 5 rounds. She wanted to stop the fight at the end of the 4th round, Pennington, that is, and her team convinced her to keep going. A lot of controversy regarding that, but she said had she quit, or had they allowed her to quit, she'd have regretted it for the rest of her life. So she went out on her shield, like everyone says that they want their fighters to do. And this time they were upset that they didn't let her, they let her go out on her shield, or they convinced her to do so. So it shows that you can't really please the public no matter what. So you got to go out there and fight. You got to coach the way you need to coach and just let things fall where they may, because you're not going to please the public either way. That's for all the fighters and coaches out there that are watching these videos. So, like I said, I wanted to blow through it really quick. I'm actually about to head to the gym. I got 2 guys getting ready for pro fights. One of them is going to be their pro debut. So we're doing a lot of work. Rob is actually coming down from to join us today. Hopefully we can get some filming in to show you guys what I've been working on the past month or so. Like I said, it's usually just me and the guys in the gym. So I'm not really focused on filming. I'm focused on getting these guys ready to be sharp and ready to get wins. So with Rob there, maybe I can get some footage in there and also get you guys some technical toolbox, because we know you've been waiting on those. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Hit the like button. Let us know about your thoughts on all those fights that I talked about below. Hit us up on all of our social media platforms. Everything's Capital of Combat. Facebook, Google+, Gmail, not Gmail, but you can hit us up at gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, everything. You can find us at Capital of Combat. So if you have any questions, hit the comment section. Hit us in the email. If you have any thoughts that you want to share, comment section down below.
Round 1, as you already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.